Hey guys, welcome to TCT Time!
Yeah!
We have some new members on our panel today. We have Kay, who works at Tokyo Creative. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Kay. I'm Chinese born and raised in Japan, and I'm working at Tokyo Creative as a sales associate.
Nice. Thank you for joining us. And also, could you introduce yourself as well?
My name is Jake, and I live stream on Twitch TV, and I kind of just live stream my life on Twitch. I've done it for almost a year and a half, and now I'm here hanging out with you guys at Tokyo Creative.
Talking about
Nice.
some sexual stuff.
No.
Wait, is that what we're doing? That's what we're doing today.
That's right there, right? Right
There we go. But that's not a sexual
here.
thing, Chris.
Yeah,
You didn't have
I'm sorry.
You didn't have to. We all know that your mind is in the gutter.
No,
Always,
not me, not me.
Always. But thank you guys for joining us. This is going to be a fun little discussion because we're talking about nampa in Japan. What is nampa? How would you explain that in English?
No idea.
Picking up chicks in Japan.
There it is. Literally picking up chicks in Japan, which happens a lot. Like when you go outside walking around, in especially Shibuya, there will always be nampaers, like guys who are just like hawks, like waiting for girls to cross the street, and they'll just run up to the girls and be like, "Sumimasen, sumimasen, onisan, onisan," and the girls will just ignore that shit. They just keep walking. But that's really common.
I don't think they ignore us.
I wouldn't know. I never napped.
Me too. I don't know what you're
Have
talking
you
about.
nampad before? Be honest.
I don't even know what a nampa is. I'm sorry.
Look,
No, I
please
know.
refer to the board.
But before
Please.
this video, she was saying, "Chris, you know what nampa is?" I'm like, nampa? No. What are you talking about? Flirting?
Chris is
Never heard of
so
that.
full of shit. So full of shit. Always. Don't believe a thing that he says.
Yeah, that is true.
I'll bet you've nampad before. Don't tell me you haven't done it.
So I would say every guy has nampad at least once. But I think the difference between nampa in Japan and Western culture is that when you nampa in Japan, a lot of times because it's a very not Japan, sorry, Tokyo, because it's a very bustling, crowded city, right? A lot of times the nampa happens outside of a club or a bar. It happens literally directly on the street, and it's kind of different from Western where they catcall.
Right.
It's more like they just come up to you like creepily,
So
and then
true.
and then kind of say like some kind of weird pickup line that's usually cringeworthy. Honestly, I have no idea what kind of lines it is because I just don't know nampa in Japan.
No, it's different. It's different. I would prefer if they came up to you with an actual cheesy pickup
Or more
line.
respectful, kind of, or more in a respectful way, I think, right?
Yeah. It strikes me as just so creepy the way that they do it. How do they do it? Have you ever been nampad?
Yeah, but only weird ones.
Only weird. What happens?
Nasty ones.
Nasty ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should give us some.
Yeah, what the hell?
you should
I am
give us.
intrigued. I am intrigued.
I'm kind of curious from a girl's side what Japanese guys do usually.
Yeah, I have no idea.
You have experience, right?
What is a normal nampa? Have you had a normal nampa before? Where someone was like,
just especially in Osaka, we have a bridge called Hikakebashi.
Oh,
So-
near the running guy? Is that it?
oh, the good,
What
the
is-
Well,
good
it's
guy?
called
Good
Nampa
guy?
Bridge,
Okay.
literally. Yeah.
Namba bridge, yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
happen
name
all
is
the time.
Namba Bridge.
Well, it's in
but
Nam.
No,
No.
Hikake means hook.
to hook.
Yeah.
So it's a. But
It's
Namba is the city,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Namba.
So it's like a play on words.
Yeah.
Namba.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
The Namba happen all the time in the Hikakebashi.
right.
And then people just come up to you sumimasen, sumimasen. 今お時間ありますか? Do you have
Oh,
Time
is that
right now?
usually the introductory line?
Yeah.
Do you have
really,
do you have time, girl?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's not really creative.
No. Or also, what I get sometimes, I got this last night actually. I was on the last train home, and I was getting off the train at my station, and a guy was following me, and he was tapping me on the shoulder too,
Ooh.
and I was just this again. I was ignoring him. I learned to ignore people before, but yeah. So I ignored him, but he keeps tapping me on the shoulder. He's coming behind me. He's like, "Sumimasen, sumimasen." I'm like, I know what he's gonna say. Just ignore him. And then he's kind of like, "Ima kaerimasu ka? Kaerimasu ka?" Are you going home now? Are you going home?
That's really
Yes,
creepy.
I'm
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
going home. It's
Yeah.
1:30 in the morning. Why would I stay out with you? Has that ever worked for anybody? I don't know.
Not really my approach. Not if I ever talk to anybody that I don't know or want to meet them, I don't usually say that. But in Japan, like, so I'm outside a lot when I live stream. Yeah. I'm outside, like, I'm honestly in Shibuya at least 2 or 3 nights, like, a week.
Whoa,
and so I'm not there till, like, usually till, like, 2 or 3 a.m. when I go home. And so I have from
peak hours.
It's honestly crazy. So from, like, an observation standpoint, I've seen for, like, almost a year, or probably over a year now, just, like, Nampa in action, like, all sorts of it. Like, and I think the like, one of the definition, or one of the, like, a summary of, like, picking up girls in Japan from my observations in Japan, very aggressive. And they do this thing that I noticed a lot, which is like, if it's like 2 guys, because usually they'll be in a group or like a little pair, they'll make the wall. You guys ever see the wall? They'll go in front of the girls and like walk backwards in front of them, so girls have to dodge them, and they're like, oh, excuse me, like, where are you going? Like, you doing anything? What are you doing? And like, and they create a wall, like a barrier, and then you can't pass them. And I'm always like, God damn, like,
damn.
yeah. The wall.
I think I have seen that before though, but I haven't seen them work in pairs that often. Okay. Usually it's like a lone wolf.
Okay.
And it's really amazing how they'll just like turn their heads when a girl like goes by, like a kind of cute girl. They'll be like, and then they'll just like just swoop in, just be like, sumimasen, and they'll kind of like do the backward walk too. If they'll get in front of you and they'll be like, sumimasen, ima. 時間ありますか? Do you have time right now? どこ行くんですか? So annoying.
But a lot of times they're different, right? I mean, you have the typical non-pop for like trying to get a girlfriend, but you also have like the catcha, right? Trying to get you for like the red light scene, right? Which I've seen some weird like documentary style on YouTube before, where like they literally, it's like they're trying to get you into their
photography, and it goes down like a
or basically they try to say, oh, like we can take pictures of you, like you look like a model, we can, and then all of a sudden every hour it seems like one piece of clothing just slowly falls off. But like there's like documentaries, there's documentaries like that I kind of like showcase some of those. Wow. I'm not too familiar. I don't.
Oh, are you sure? Are you sure this isn't like personal experience?
I thought usually like
especially in Osaka, it must happen. I think it happens more often than Tokyo.
For Kyabakura?
Kyabakura happens often, right?
Or like girls bars.
Yeah.
Actually,
that's where it starts, and then it goes down the
slope, right?
Rabbit hole.
Down the slippery path.
Of the red light district.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Maybe.
I was
Don't quote us. This is all based on my observations and opinions, so
But you can observe a lot just walking around, especially like Shinjuku at night, Shibuya at night. Kabukicho is like a hot spot for that.
Place is nice.
Walk down that Kabukicho street at night and like there will be catcher guys. Definitely. When I first came to Japan, I was super, super naive. I was like 18 years old. And I'm from Canada, so I was like really friendly. If anyone said excuse me to me to talk to me, I would be like, yeah. Like, what is it? I'd be like, they'd be like, sumimasen. I'd be like, hi. And I'll talk, and they'll be like, oh. They're super taken aback at first because all the girls will ignore the shit out of them. But I was just like, yeah, what do you want? And then they'd tell me about their like bar, and I'll be like, what kind of bar is it?
Nice.
I almost got taken, and it was like, but I thought about it and I was like, no, this sounds really sketchy. I'm pretty sure this is sketchy. He's making it sound good, but that's how they get you if you're not
on a different
careful.
career path right now.
Yeah, I could have been.
Could have bumped into you somewhere else in the world.
Could have been headed down that path really fast.
I think also, have you guys ever been like I for some reason I've actually been like what's it called, chikanned? On a train station platform.
You really?
Yeah, really weird. It was in Kyoto too.
By a guy or by a girl? That's my question.
Yeah,
by girl.
Interesting.
And it was really weird. Like she touched my arm and like started feeling my peck.
You're about to say boob.
And it was really weird. And she was like, back then when I first was living in Kyoto, I was only like 20.
Okay.
I was very naive.
Young and fresh.
Yes. And then she's like a mama-san. She was like 45. And I was like,
that's creepy.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's so
and I was
creepy.
like, oh. And then she's like, where you going? I was like, oh, drinking with my friends. She was like, oh, can I join? I was like, oh, no. And I kind of walked off. It was actually my first month in Japan. So my first experience was like dude, Nampa culture here is weird.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Low key scarring you a little bit, like your first.
And especially in Kyoto. And I lived in a very inaka, the countryside of Kyoto.
Yeah.
You probably don't expect that at all. Or maybe oppositely, you do expect it more aggressive because actually there's not so many people around you.
Right.
So it's like you're in the middle of a rice fields, right? It's that kind of
Right.
atmosphere, right?
Right.
So maybe they don't feel so nervous, like, oh, no one's gonna see me do something naughty, right?
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm just I love Kyoto. Don't worry, and I love Japan. Don't worry. I'm just saying maybe I just had a bad experience.
But it happens a lot though,
Yeah.
like nampa, but also like weird chikan kind of thing, like
Yeah.
sexual harassment type of thing.
Oh, sorry. Let's sorry. Chikan means sexual offender,
harassment,
or well, chikan's a noun, right?
Chikan is a noun in Japanese, but chikan suru would be like to do
To sexual harassment,
Yeah.
and then the person who's doing is called a chikan sexual offender
Chikan.
or harasser.
You're right. You
Yeah,
could use
yeah.
it for the person as
Right?
well.
Okay.
So it can be used as the action and also the person who's doing it.
Don't get it mixed with chicken. One time I asked for chicken kare.
No, you didn't.
And
What?
yeah.
Are you serious?
And the waitress, and I was, it was a strange. I felt so weird.
Speaking of like weird nampa experiences, did you ever try before? Like, did you try to nampa someone?
So, to be honest, like I'm a very passive guy when it comes to like talking to girls. Not because I'm nervous, but because I just don't like to put in like a lot of effort. 'Cause I'm just out like live streaming, like honestly most of my time outside. So I don't try to like create awkward situations or make it kind of weird. But I do often, if I see a cute girl walk by, I'll be like, hello, just that. Very simple.
I've seen it before, actually.
And like it's super
You
simple.
saw him do that?
I've seen that.
Yeah, and like the reason I do that is because I just figure like if someone is, I don't know, like if they're receptive and if they're like maybe want to talk to somebody new, want to meet somebody, they'll say hi back. But if not, they'll keep their head down and keep walking, which is totally cool. Like I don't take offense to that. I don't really worry about it. So I guess like I don't like to invest myself in something that I think has a low success rate. So I just say hello. I keep it simple, and if they say hi back, then you can make friends and go from there. Yeah.
And do you actually like start talking from that sometimes?
Yeah, well, when I'm outside, I'm usually holding a camera. I have a huge setup, right? So it's like, it's kind of weird. Some people like it, some people don't like it, so you can figure that out. But that's kind of like a icebreaker sometimes. So I'll be like, hello, and they'll be like, hi, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm live streaming. Like, oh, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, there's 5,000 people watching. And then it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And if they feel comfortable, usually you can like talk from there and meet somebody. But in general, I don't, honestly, I don't go outside and like, all right, man, let's go outside. Time to go pick up some chicks. Like, that's not really like, I don't have that. I don't know. Maybe because maybe I've done that before, like in my past. But like when I came to Japan, I'm kind of like, yeah.
Good for you, because I think honestly, there are a lot of dudes who come here and do exactly that. So they're just like, let's see who we can pick up tonight.
When I
That's
traveled
Shibuya
here-
though. Shibuya
Shibuya does
is
that.
about that. Like anybody, Japanese guys, foreign guys, they're just ready to scout out girls. It's a creepy place out there.
Yeah.
And you've probably seen a lot of it because you're out there
Every
filming.
day, like every day. Last night I was streaming till like maybe 3 a.m. and I just see it like a lot, and like it's very aggressive and very touchy, and like a lot of the times when I'm streaming I'll say comments like, damn, if it happened in America, the girl would slap the shit out of that guy. Because the guys are like a new girl going up and like grabbing her arm or like getting in front of her. And I'm like, dude, like I can't do that. That's weird to me, but
Yeah, they are touchy.
Yeah.
I get touched by random guys too. I mean, not in like a, like I get a lot of that. And I think someone has tried to hug me before, but it was in like a crowded place. I don't remember what it was. I don't know. People really like overstep their boundaries. It's creepy, and it's really creepy when they do it late at night. Like it seems like the last. Like if you're gonna try and nampa someone, maybe in a more reasonable time of night, then your chances are a little higher. Not in like a dark place. Like that's just like so bad. Everyone would say no, I think. Has it ever worked for anybody?
I think
I
so.
mean,
I don't know why.
Oh, you can see like outside. I don't know. I've hung out with some Japanese people outside like after hours, you know, like, and you can see some weird things like picking up scraps, like in like that's like the term I've heard is like picking up scraps. Like they'll go outside of a club at 5 a.m. when it closes, and you'll see like there's a club called Atom. I don't know if it's just a name drop. Atom.
Adam.
It's like a
Go
huge club
check
in
it out.
Shibuya, and a lot of people go there like usually a younger age range. And at 5 a.m. when it closes, actually on weekdays you'll see like salarymen, like maybe 5 to 10 outside the club, waiting for the
drunk
drunk
girls.
girls to come out of the club, like every time.
What?
And they're trying to basically just pick up scraps, which is like either drunk people or. That's what I've heard. Is that a bad word?
Scraps.
It's like.
It sounds super like derogatory.
I think it is. I think it is derogatory.
Super
Like
derogatory.
waiting for drunk people to come out and like
What?
talk to them and try to make something from that is kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think it's like interesting, but also kind of.
It's strategic.
Oh, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, that it would probably work because I mean they're probably drunk, like just wasted out of their minds. But that's why it's also wrong, because they're not in their right mind and they're taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Ooh. But does that happen like abroad? Like, how about in LA? What's the pickup culture like there? Do people pick up scraps?
I mean.
Do they do that? I don't know.
I could just picture like at a bar in LA, like let's say downtown LA, and I'll say it's more direct, but also more respectful usually. So it'll be more direct as in like, if you see girls having a drink at the bar with her friends, maybe you'll either be direct and go up to her or try to create like an entry to talk to her or like just to make yourself known for her, and then get like a simple conversation real quick.
Right.
And then buy a drink or whatever it may be, and it's very like that kind of like the standard what you'd see like in a movie, let's say. But Japan's definitely a little bit different. But not to say either one is right or wrong. It's just kind of it's a difference of the place. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I think in the U.S. or like North America, there's more of a like, let me buy you a drink, get to know you a little bit. It's more not so forceful. It's like, if you want me to buy you a drink, I'll buy you a drink.
Yeah.
And you can say yes or no, it's up to you. But in Japan, it's like on the street, so there's no room for that kind of discussion. Yeah. But I want to hear one of your like stories. What was one of the really weird nampas that you got?
I don't know if it's nampa, but I got asked by like a weird guy. Says like, can you sell panties?
What?
Yeah, on
Nice.
Can you sell like your panties to him?
Oh, your panties?
Yeah. Can you please sell me your panties? And I was like, I couldn't hear because he's like super quiet. I was like, sorry.
Did you say
can
ikura?
No. But I just saw my friend like walking toward me. Like, oh, this guy won't pan my panty, and then he ran away.
Shit, you could have made $1 million right there off a pair of
but
panties.
he's like a white suit.
What?
A white suit?
Yeah, so
I don't
freaky.
know.
Feels like a host
I don't
or
know
something.
what it
Yeah,
is
what
about
a
white
BLM
suits, but
bitch.
white suits are bad news.
White suits are bad
Anytime I
news.
see an all white suit, who does that? Who wears an all white suit? Anytime you see someone in a white suit, it's bad news.
Pimps.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
That's bad news. That's bad news.
Dudes that buy girls' panties on the street, I guess.
Oh my god, really?
And I think, in high school. Like, I was wearing high
That's
school
weird.
uniform.
Oh no,
That's
it's
why
that.
maybe
Oh, it's
he
that
came
weird
up to me.
Joshi.
It's the high
Now
school
what,
girl.
What's
Yeah.
that? How do you say?
Fetish.
Joshi Kosei.
Yeah, Joshi Kosei is high school girls.
Now we're getting this. Okay, let's back away.
Back away from the topic a little bit.
I feel like I got hit a lot when I was in high school or younger.
Really?
Because I was wearing uniform or I look like younger teenager.
Really? Oh, that's so inappropriate.
Kind of focus more on the negative aspect of Japanese nanpa. How about the positives? Okay, so you two girls have been living in Japan. What is a good way
Positive.
for a person to respectfully talk to you and come up to you?
That's a good question.
If you had to give tips to
Yes.
a foreigner,
I'm taking notes from my friend.
so we also, because obviously girls, both you guys are single. So obviously both of you have expressed you want a boyfriend. So how would you like a boy to come up to you? Ooh, juicy information.
Ooh,
Notepad.
wait, I have to think about this. So like someone we don't know is gonna suddenly approach us somewhere.
Or like no. I'm just saying best case scenario. How would you feel respected by a guy like not on a street? It could be any situation. What is your ideal situation for a guy to start flirting with you?
And realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
So don't say he's gonna bring you some kind of golden slipper and he's gonna give you some Hermes bag or whatever.
No, I wasn't even thinking about that. That's not my ideal. Do you have an idea? Like, what would be a good
I
nampa
think
for you?
not on the street
Yeah.
because there are more chance to get ignored.
Yeah.
I think on the street.
Okay, but if it was on the street, then how would a guy charm you?
On the street.
Yeah.
That's difficult.
I think the automatic is like ignore.
Yeah.
Like as soon as someone
Or-
tries to talk to you in the street, it's like Don't look at him.
Yeah.
Don't
Come
look
on,
at him.
if Justin
Keep
Bieber
walking.
came up to you, what would you want him to say to you? You know?
Justin Bieber like 5 years ago.
You know,
Right now,
some-
he looks
some,
a little-
like-
he's kind of scraggly. He's kind of all over the place right now.
But like the hottest
That's
dude in
true.
the world, right? Who could be the nicest dude? Your knight in shining armor. Guaranteed, there's at least one of those guys who may come up to you. What, you know, obviously we know what's disregarded as disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
What would be regarded as I don't mind him striking up a conversation with me.
Ooh. I think it's a little tricky to pick up a girl on the street. The reason is because she's probably going somewhere and doesn't have time to talk to you anyway.
Okay.
So I think ideally you would be in a bar
Yeah.
where there's a little bit of room for like conversation. So maybe you could buy her a drink and introduce yourself. And then maybe you could chat a little bit, and that would kind of make it a little bit more comfortable, where you're not just like, whoa, stopping, like encroaching on my personal space. Like it's a little more respectful. But if it's on the street, like you're busy, you're doing stuff. It's hard to stop and like talk to them.
So bar is the best kind of scene that you guys would be okay
Yeah.
if a guy approached you and be willing to respond.
Yeah. I think girls are also looking for something, like looking for to meet guys in bars.
True.
Maybe just you. I'm just joking.
She looked like legit,
Yeah, I know.
like offended too. She's like, just me. Yeah. The other way is if it's not just like a Western bar, you could go into a Japanese izakaya as well, because people are drinking and they're more open to like talking to each other. You might find like a group of people who are like partying as a huge group. Maybe you could like cheers each other, and then you know everyone's having
Many
fun.
times Toriki, baby.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yes.
Toriki's my favorite, by the way.
Is that?
This place.
Do you meet people there?
Definitely, I've met people like. So I'm a very. I would say compared to the normal person, because of what I do, I'm outside like 6 days a week, live streaming for like 8 hours. I'm always outside meeting people, so I've made like probably a couple hundred friends here. Not that they're close friends. I probably only have like a handful of close friends. I've met a couple hundred contacts of people I've hung out with or made friends with. So, and they've been in all different situations, whether on the street, bar, izakayas, whatever it may be, like events and.
Wow.
But yeah, Toriki is a great place, and yeah, I have definitely cheers and made friends with people in Toriki.
Really?
Yeah.
And toriki is short for torikizoku,
Torikizoku, yes.
which is like a chicken
yeah.
izakaya? Chicken...
It's a yakitori.
Yakitori izakaya.
Yeah, and everything's like, oh man,
It's so cheap,
Alright,
right?
anyways, not an ad, by the way.
But if you want to go meet people, go there. I think that's their advice. But yeah, I think that's a little bit about nampa and like picking up girls in Japan. Like it's a mixed bag of things. If you come to Tokyo, you see a lot of people trying to pick up chicks in Shibuya and Shinjuku. So if you want to avoid that area at night, or go and like observe like
Yeah,
you
it's
do.
really interesting. Don't just watch.
It is interesting. Yeah.
Sometimes I just speak Chinese,
Oh yeah,
which
good.
they don't understand.
That's a good.
Me too.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So they're like, oh, magica. Or like they go,
Wait, sorry. I have a just funny story that I just remembered. I tried to speak English to a Japanese guy who tried to nampa me.
Oof.
Like I was walking and he was like, "Sumimasen, onissan," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't understand." He's like, "Oh, English. Oh, Englisher. Oh, I speak it. Where are you from?" And I was like, "No,
Yeah,
shit,
doesn't work.
that's not there." And he kept following me and tried to talk to me in English.
I
You
tried
open-
English too, but
I
they're like,
opened up and-
"Kanpai." Oh, English.
He's like, oh, I'm an
kanpai.
English
And
professor.
it's not
Speaking of
gonna work.
English, like, I
So I
just
changed
opened
to
it.
Chinese. Then, oh, no.
I was like, I gotta use another language now. I'm gonna start speaking French the next time. Yeah. So, advice for anybody who wants to avoid nampa: speak a, if possible, obscure language. Scare them off. Anyway, we should wrap up our video here. I hope you guys learned a little something about picking up girls.
No one
in
ate
Japan.
anything. I wanted to eat something.
You're
just
right.
sitting there. I'm
we have
hungry.
our snacks, and we were so busy talking that we
I thought
didn't
we were having
even-
It
snack
got
time.
juicy, man.
It was getting really juicy. And if you guys have anything you want to ask about this topic, like picking up girls,
Yeah.
or any personal experiences you want to share, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah,
I'd love to
leave a
hear.
comment about any specific questions you have for these two. Because I think many guys...
Or these two.
No,
They've got
no.
some advice.
But I think many guys would want to know like more advice on how to actually get some... How
What?
to
Whoa,
actually
what?
find a girlfriend!
Whoa! Whoa!
Wait, you should cut it right
I
at
didn't
that
say
one.
anything!
Go on and finish that sentence.
You heard what he
Okay,
said.
well, we should
Leave
bye.
a comment.
Bye.
See you in the next TCT
Bye,
tag.
bye, bye, bye,
Bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, kampai it.
Goodbye,
Yeah,
goodbye.
yeah.
Yay.